with Stanford. We're joined by Coach Jessica Allister, Alana Vawter, NiJaree Canady, bad handwriting, and Emily Schultz. Reminder to please silence your phones and give your name and affiliation before asking a question. You want to start off with an opening statement?
Yeah, thrilled to be here. Really proud of this group of young women. And after a tremendous season, happy to be concluding it here in Oklahoma City. So just really, really excited to get going.
Open up for questions. Back row.
Justin McLeod from Extra Inning Softball. Coach, the last time Stanford was here, you were here. I feel like it's probably a little different emotion for you now. Can you tell me what that emotion was like when you clinched that Super Regional and the World Series berth last weekend?
It was awesome. And it was awesome, just like I said before, the group of young women are tremendous, both in the program now and those for the last 6 years who believed that we could get here and were willing to put in the work before it seemed like a probable ending. So just a lot of pride and gratefulness to continue the season together.
Questions? Joe in the middle row on the right here.
Joe Masato, the Oklahoman. Jessica, just a big picture question. Pace of play has been a popular topic of conversation among the coaches and everything. Do you see that as much of an issue? And if so, do you have any ideas in which you would try to tighten things up a little bit?
You should watch us play. We play fast. I'm just kidding. Kind of. Yeah, I think it's important. I think anytime that you are not sensitive to what's best for the game, I think that's a mistake. So I think that we should continue to take in all the information and do what we need to do to move the game forward. I think at the same time, you don't want to get painted into a corner when certain moments deserve a little bit more time, and you want to make sure in those moments you can take the time. So I think it's important that we keep our finger on it, but I think we should move with a scalpel, not a hammer.
Go to Eli, middle row on the left.
Eli Letterman, Tulsa World. NiJaree, for you, growing up in Topeka, only so far from here, I'm curious, before getting to this week, what your relationship with this event was growing up and what memories you might have.
Yeah, I've played here a lot, actually, growing up. I was a part of the Alliance All-Star team, so just playing a part of that league, we played a lot of tournaments here, and it's only like 3.5 hours away, so I'm definitely glad to be back.
And was it anything you watched on TV when it got to this time of year?
Yes, I always watched it, something my whole family looked forward to, so it's definitely different being here now and playing on the same dirt.
And to finish, just the idea now of being here at the end of year one, to finish your freshman season on this field where you're familiar, what do you think it'll feel like perhaps tomorrow when you're in the circle?
I feel like it'll, I don't know, definitely exciting, but we'll see when it gets there.
More questions in the room? Back row again.
For Emily and then for Coach. Coach alluded to it a few minutes ago. This was not, Stanford was not always a World Series team the last few years. Can you just walk me through the journey to get to this point and be sitting on the stage and be playing tomorrow?
Yeah, I think we've kind of talked about it a little bit, but I think it's pretty surreal. I remember my freshman year, we were so excited that we got to postseason. We actually went to Gainesville, and I remember it wasn't the best weekend, but I walked off the field with Coach Allister, and she gave me a hug, and she said, "Remember this moment, we're going to be back here." And I think ever since my freshman year, it's kind of just been a journey back to that, and every year it's gotten a little bit better. We've obviously brought some incredible players in, some incredible pitching, and I think we've just kind of shifted the culture of Stanford softball and kind of made us a name to be forced to be reckoned with, I think, in the country. And so it's pretty surreal to be here. But as a fifth year, I think there's no other way. I'd rather kind of wrap it up. So yeah.
Remind me of the question.
Just chronicling the journey, getting Stanford back to this point.
I think everything that Emily just said, it was always the goal. And when I took the job because Stanford's the best athletic department in the country. And if you look across the scope of sports, specifically on the women's side, there's absolutely no reason that Stanford softball shouldn't be competing for championships like all the other women's sports teams in our department. And I thought it was a sleeping giant and a task that I was excited to take on. So proud to be here and just really proud of the women sitting next to me.
You have another one?
And actually, for both pitchers, could you just speak to the relationship you guys have in your bullpen? Just what that dynamic is like?
Yeah, so I can start. So I think we all kind of accredit everything to Coach Nyberg. She does a fantastic job with creating like one-on-one relationships with us, making sure that we know, how important it is to be able to work together. And just like that, you kind of love working together. So yeah, I think Coach Nyberg is the tip top as far as that's concerned. But then, these girls are the secondary. It's just fun to be around. We love hanging out with each other on and off the field. It just makes the bullpen a fun place to be.
Yeah, kind of building off of that, I feel like there's just this atmosphere in the bullpen that I don't know, that's hard to replicate. We all have each other's backs. If someone throws a good pitch, the whole bullpen's kind of yelling and celebrating it. But I'm just every practice where it says bullpen, I'm always excited.
Sure. Go to Ryan on the middle row, right?
Ryan Chapman, the franchise coach. When you match up with Oklahoma so early in the season, is there anything you can take from that game? Or since it was, game 2 for you, game 3 for them, it's two teams just totally different at this point?
Yeah, it was a long time ago. But absolutely, obviously we'll draw back from that and, watch the film and you get some information from there. But I think that we're both very different teams at this point in the season. And, there's a lot of ball that's been played since then.
Any more in the room? We'll go to Zoom with Eric Lopez.
Eric Lopez in the Circle podcast. Coach, I know there's been a lot of alumni that are making the trip. Jessica Mendoza obviously is working the event. I've been told Ramona Shelburne's trying to make the event between her commitments to the NBA. What's it been like for the alumni? Have you heard from the alumni and the excitement around this program right now?
We have, and I told Ramona the NBA Finals. What the heck? You got to go there? Just kidding. It's been wonderful. It's been surreal, and that's been an added bonus. Just to hear from people that we hear from on occasion, but reaching out of the blue, saying we'll be there. It's special. And when you talk about programs and you talk about sustainable programs, a piece of that is bringing everybody back and having that feel of once you put on the jersey, you're always going to wear the jersey. So it's going to be great to see some familiar faces. And we told them they better cheer loud.
More questions in the room? Since we have any time players, anything you want to add on your season or being here in Oklahoma City, anything like that before we wrap up?
I'm just ready to go. I'm ready to go. That's all I got to say.
All right, well, with that, we'll wrap things up for Stanford. Thank you for everybody for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.